Today I'm ordering content from a cheap, a mid-priced, and an expensive content writing service so we can find out which one is the most worth it. Let's dive into it. Now we all know that content is king in the affiliate marketing world. But if you're someone who doesn't enjoy writing, or if you're trying to outsource your business already, you might want to get content writing services. However, if you search on Google, you'll find that there are so many different content writing services. And these range from extremely cheap all the way up to really expensive services. That's why 1 month ago, I ordered content from 3 popular content writing services. IWriter for the cheap option, Textun for the mid-priced option, and WordAgents for the expensive option. Now, if you want to see the process of ordering all those articles, I will have an unlisted video in the description below which you can check out. But now let's get into how these content writing services actually perform. So we're going to be judging these articles based on 3 things: their delivery speed, how good they were at following instructions, and we're also going to look at the grammar flow and just the overall quality of the article. So for delivery speed, I was really impressed with IWriter. I actually ordered 2 articles from them. One standard $8 article which came back the very next day, and one elite article for $20 which came back in 2 days. The reason why IWriter can send articles back so quickly is because they aren't a traditional agency. This is really just a platform where freelance writers can get projects from clients. So that's why if you make your instructions very clear, somebody can pick it up the very next day, like with the standard article. I was also very impressed with Textun because on their website, they say that they'll deliver the content in 5 days. And that's exactly what they did. It wasn't earlier, it wasn't later, it was perfectly on time, so I'm impressed. But the one that I was really disappointed with was WordAgents. When you order from WordAgents, you can see here that they have a 7-day guarantee. However, after 7 days, I still didn't get my content until 11 days. Now, they probably prioritize people who order in bulk or repeat customers, but that's still super disappointing because they are already very expensive and they can't even deliver their content on time. But okay, now for following instructions. So the instructions I sent out were very simple. The target keyword was best cards for magic, which is really a typical affiliate keyword. And I really just wanted them to meet 6 things. We want them to review 4 to 5 decks. We want them to add links to Amazon. We want to make sure that some of the decks are standard but good looking decks while others are gimmick decks. I want an introduction and a conclusion. I want H2s. And I want a link to a YouTube video showing how the gimmick decks work. So let's see how each of the articles performed. So here we have our first one. This is the IWriter standard $8 article. They do have a bunch of cards, which is good, 4 or 5. They have links to Amazon. That's good. Some of these are standard playing cards and some of them are trick decks. And they do have an introduction and a conclusion. However, what I noticed is that they don't use H2s, which is kind of disappointing because you can't just paste this into WordPress and go. You have to do some formatting yourself. But that's not the end of the world. They even included a YouTube video on how to use the Svengali deck, which is, again, really good. That's 5 out of 6 for an $8 article. Remember, it's $8. So I'm impressed. Now let's check the elite article. So now for elite, let's see. So he does have a lot of cards, and what I noticed right away is that there are no links to Amazon, which is very bad. I'll have to go and look for these myself on Amazon to put the links. So if this wasn't for a video, I would immediately send this back for revisions or maybe even reject it. I also noticed that there aren't even any gimmick decks. There are some that have some special cards, but that's not really a full gimmick deck. That's just a standard deck with 1 special card. So that's about 1/2. I'll give him 1/2 for that. There is an introduction and there is a conclusion down here. There are no H2s again, so that's very bad. And there is no video. So that's very very disappointing for the Elite article, which is again more expensive than the previous one. That's actually a 2.5 out of 6. So that shows that when you order an iWriter, it's really a mixed bag because you don't know who's going to take up your article. Now moving on to Textun, I have a good feeling about this. He even highlighted his target keyword here. But let's just run through this. There are 4 to 5 decks, which is correct. They have links to Amazon, that's good. They have standard decks and trick decks. He even separated these. That's good. He has an introduction and he has a conclusion. Good. There are no H2s. That's pretty bad again. Not the end of the world. But does he have a video? Yes, he does. So that's 5 out of 6. For Textun, I'm impressed. I really like these pros and cons also. So, okay, let's move on to WordAgents. And I really have high hopes for this. Hopefully they don't let me down again. Here we go. H2s. There are H2s. Finally, I'm very happy about that. They're the only one who actually met that instruction. So let's see the rest. There are 5 decks, which is good. Some of these are standard and they have a stripper deck. That's good. There are links to Amazon. There is an introduction, a conclusion. There are H2s, of course. And yes, they do have a video. So that's 6 out of 6 for WordAgents. That's relieving considering it's $120 to get this article. So that's good. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to look at the grammar, the flow, and the overall quality. And I'm going to critique it the way that I would critique an article from our writers. Now before we get into that, if you're enjoying this video, please do leave a thumbs up. It really does help us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you enjoy watching affiliate marketing videos and trainings, then do subscribe to our channel because we're going to release a new video every 2 weeks this year. There's a lot of exciting things planned up and we'd love for you to be there. So please do subscribe and let's get back to the video. So we're back again with our IWriter standard article and you can see here I use some color coding for bad grammar, unnatural language that doesn't sound like it came from a native speaker, and just some sentences that are way too long or confusing. And scrolling through, you'll see that there are a few grammar errors, but really the main problem with the IWriter standard writer is that his sentences are super long and they're so confusing. If you want to read these articles yourself, I will put a link in the description below so you can actually take your time to see what I mean when he says that his sentences are way too long and there are some areas where he really sounds like he's not a native English speaker, such as this one. So that's the problem with this one. If I got this from one of our writers, I would probably send this back for edits. Now for the IWriter Elite, and if you scroll through this, you'll notice that there aren't actually a lot of colors except for this area, which sounds very unnatural. So it might seem good. However, in a closer look, you'll find that this article is actually really bad, and it's not grammar or unnatural or the sentences are too long. The problem with this article is it's super thin, the content. In 1,000 words, he talked about 11 decks in 1,000 words. And if that's not enough, he even put important things to consider and frequently asked questions, and this is just 1,000 words. So that's super impressive for all the wrong reasons. This is really like air. If you read it, you'll really come out feeling like you didn't learn anything at all. So that's super bad, and really in a way it's much worse than an article with many grammatical errors, because if there are errors, you can just send it back to the writer and say fix these up. This one, I feel like you really have to rewrite it all over again. So again, if this wasn't for a video, this is a definite reject for me. So here's Textun, and there's really only one part of this that I'd want to change. It's where he's describing how stripper decks work. If you don't know how this works and you read this, I have a feeling you'll be more confused than before. So just a little bit confusing. He can make it better. But actually, if you take a look at this, I really like it because there's meat. There's meat in the article. When he talks about a deck of cards, he really describes it. And if you read it, you will come away knowing something new. Plus, I really love the pros and cons. And these aren't random pros and cons either. They're all highlighting what he talked about in the body of the text. So that's really nice. I kind of feel like Textun has an editor because there was really no grammatical errors. So that's great. And for $50, I am very impressed. Maybe I can even just fix this up a little bit myself, and this can go straight to our website. So for this last one, I really do have my fingers crossed because this cost me $120 for 1,000 words, which is a lot of money. Yes, they followed instructions well, but I really don't want to be making any edits on this. I just want to get this, put it straight on my WordPress website. That's what $120 is worth for me. But let's find out. And I'm happy to report that WordAgents did an absolutely amazing job with this one. There's so much meat in the article. You will really learn about the 5 decks that they're talking about. I also really love their selection of decks. It's not super random. They're always geared towards magic, and they're also not super similar to one another that it's just repeating what they're saying for the previous deck. Again, very impressed with WordAgents. That's to be expected from them really for $120. So there you have it. Those were the 3 content pieces from 3 different price points. If you ask me, I'd say that Textun is the most worth it. The reason for that is because they did a very good job. There was just a small portion that you need to edit, and it's $50. It's not that expensive. Yes, WordAgents has the best article of the rest. However, you really have to ask yourself, can you afford $120? Or if you're ordering in bulk, do you really have that much cash on hand that you're ready to burn? For IWriter, it's really a mixed bag. I'd say the $8 article is actually a lot better than the $20 article. So you really never know what you're going to get. I'd say that if you want IWriter to be your main source of content, you should at least hire an editor, or else your job is going to be editing all day. You're going to be editing articles all day. So those are my opinions. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below, or if there's any other writing services that you use, let us know, share us in the comments. And thank you again for watching this video. Please do leave a like, it's a very big help for us. And if you enjoy watching affiliate marketing training videos, then do subscribe to us because we have a new video coming out every 2 weeks. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.